From today, we will learn 10 new words every day through short stories. It might seem like a small step, but in 100 days, you will easily learn 1,000 words, which is a big achievement. To help you learn better, please watch each video twice. At the end of the video, try to make your own sentences using the new words you've learned. Stay with us and let's explore today's new words.
Power of empathy. My name is Anna. I work as a nurse in a busy hospital. Every day I meet people who are scared, sad, or in pain. They come to me with their problems, and my job is to help them feel better. But I learned that sometimes medicine is not enough. Sometimes people need empathy. Last year, something happened that changed me forever. A young boy named Leo came to the hospital. He had broken his leg and was crying loudly. His mother tried to calm him, but nothing worked. When I entered the room, I could feel his fear. I sat beside him and said softly, "Leo, I know you're scared. It must hurt a lot." He looked at me, surprised. "You do?" he asked. "Yes," I replied. "I once broke my leg too. It hurt so much, and I felt alone. But you are not alone. I am here for you." Leo stopped crying. He took a deep breath and nodded. I held his hand while the doctor fixed his leg. Leo's mother smiled and said, "Thank you. Your empathy helped him so much." Later that evening, I thought about the word empathy. It means to understand and feel what someone else is going through. It is like stepping into their shoes and seeing the world through their eyes. Since that day, I have tried to use empathy with everyone I meet. Whether it's a patient, a friend, or even a stranger, empathy can make a big difference. Empathy is not just a word. It is a gift we give to others. And when we share it, the world becomes a kinder place.
Facing frustration. My name is Daniel, and I love playing the piano. But loving something doesn't mean it's always easy. 1 year ago, I decided to learn a very difficult song. At first, I was excited. I sat at the piano, ready to play. But when I looked at the notes, they seemed impossible. My fingers wouldn't move the way I wanted. No matter how hard I tried, I made mistakes. Again and again. Each time I failed, frustration grew inside me. Frustration is that feeling you get when things don't go the way you want. It makes you want to scream or quit. And believe me, I wanted to quit. One night, after hours of practice, I hit the wrong keys again. My frustration boiled over. I slammed the piano and shouted, "I can't do this." I felt defeated. But then, I remembered something my teacher once said. Frustration is part of learning. If you feel frustrated, it means you are trying. Keep going and you will succeed. The next day, I sat at the piano again. This time, I didn't let frustration stop me. I played slowly, one note at a time. Days turned into weeks, and finally, I could play the whole song without mistakes. When I finished, I smiled. The frustration was gone, replaced by pride. I realized that frustration isn't the enemy, it's a sign of growth. If you push through it, you can achieve amazing things. Now, whenever I feel frustration, I remember that night. Frustration doesn't mean failure. It means you're on the way to success.
The gift of gratitude. My name is Sophie, and I will never forget the winter when everything changed. It was a cold December morning. I woke up to find our tiny house even colder than usual. The heater was broken, and my mother didn't have money to fix it. She worked so hard every day, but life was difficult for us. That evening, my best friend Mia came to visit. She brought a big bag of food and a warm blanket. I couldn't believe it. "Why are you giving this to us?" I asked. She smiled and said, "Because I care about you." In that moment, I felt something I had never understood before: gratitude. Gratitude is the feeling of being truly thankful for someone's kindness. Over the next few weeks, I thought a lot about gratitude. I felt gratitude when my teacher gave me an old coat to keep me warm. I felt gratitude when a neighbor fixed our heater for free. And most of all, I felt gratitude for my mother, who worked so hard to take care of me. One day, I decided to share my gratitude with others. I used my pocket money to buy bread and gave it to an elderly man who lived alone. He smiled and said, "Thank you, my dear." His words filled my heart with joy. Gratitude is not just about saying thank you. It is about feeling the kindness of others and sharing that kindness in return. Now, every day I look for something to be grateful for. Gratitude has taught me to see the good even in hard times. And when I share my gratitude with others, I see how it makes the world a brighter place.
Overcoming hesitation. My name is Liam, and I used to let hesitation control my life. One day, I saw a poster at school. It said, "Join the talent show." My heart raced. I loved singing, but the idea of singing in front of so many people scared me. I felt hesitation, a pause, a doubt in my mind. 4 days I stared at the sign. Each time I thought about signing up, hesitation stopped me. What if they laugh at me? What if I forget the words? These questions filled my head. Finally, my best friend, Emily, noticed. She asked, "Why are you waiting, Liam? You're a great singer." I sighed and said, "I want to, but my hesitation won't let me." Emily smiled. "Hesitation is normal, but if you let it win, you'll never know what you're capable of." Her words stayed with me. The next morning, with shaking hands, I signed my name on the poster. Even then, hesitation whispered in my ear, "What if you fail?" But I ignored it. On the night of the talent show, I stood backstage. My legs felt heavy, and hesitation tried to stop me again. But I closed my eyes and took a deep breath. "You can do this," I told myself. When I stepped onto the stage and started singing, something amazing happened. The audience smiled and clapped along. By the end of the song, my hesitation was gone. That night, I learned an important lesson. Hesitation is just a small voice of fear. If you face it, you can achieve more than you ever imagined. Now, whenever I feel hesitation, I remember that stage. Hesitation may pause us, but it can never stop us unless we let it.
The spark of enthusiasm. My name is Clara, and I believe enthusiasm can change everything. Last summer, I started a new job at a small bakery. On my first day, I met Mr. Baker, the owner. He greeted me with a big smile and said, "Welcome, Clara." Enthusiasm is the secret ingredient in everything we do here. I didn't fully understand what he meant, but I nodded. The work was hard, mixing dough, cleaning ovens, and serving customers. First, I did everything carefully, but I didn't feel excited. One morning, a woman came in with her little girl. They ordered a cupcake, and when I handed it to the girl, she looked at me and said, "This is the best cupcake ever." Her enthusiasm was contagious. I smiled and said, "I'm so happy you like it." From that moment, I decided to bring enthusiasm into my work. Instead of just making bread, I thought about how it would make someone's breakfast better. Instead of just serving customers, I greeted them with energy and a cheerful smile. Mr. Baker noticed the change. "Clara," he said, "your enthusiasm makes this bakery a brighter place. People can feel it in everything you do." Day by day, I saw how enthusiasm made a difference. Customers came back more often, smiling and happy. My coworkers also started working with more excitement. I learned that enthusiasm isn't just about feeling happy, it's about bringing energy and passion to what you do. Even simple tasks become meaningful when you do them with enthusiasm. Now, I try to live every day with enthusiasm. It's like a spark that lights up everything around me. And just like Mr. Baker said, it truly is the secret ingredient. From despair to hope. My name is Anna, and I know what despair feels like. Last year, my life changed overnight. My father lost his job, and we couldn't afford to stay in our apartment. We moved into a small, cold room at my aunt's house. I saw the despair in my father's eyes every day. He tried to smile, but I could see his sadness. I wanted to help, but I didn't know how. One evening, I sat in the corner of the room holding my school books. I looked at the pages, but my mind was full of despair. What's the point? I thought. Nothing will ever get better. For weeks, despair followed me everywhere. Felt heavy, like a dark cloud I couldn't escape. I stopped studying and stopped talking to my friends. I even stopped dreaming about the future. Then one day my teacher, Mrs. Lewis, noticed my silence. She asked me to stay after class. "Anna," she said gently, "I see despair in your eyes, but I also see strength. Don't let despair win. Use your strength to fight it." Her words stayed with me. That night, I opened my school books again. It wasn't easy, but I told myself, if I keep trying, maybe things can change. Little by little, I pushed past the despair. I studied harder and started helping my father look for jobs online. A few months later, he found a new job and we moved into a small but cozy apartment. Now I understand that despair is a feeling of deep hopelessness, but it doesn't have to last forever. When you face despair, you can find hope, even in small steps. Despair may visit, but hope can always show it the way out.
The power of curiosity. My name is Ben, and I have always been full of curiosity. When I was a child, my curiosity led me to explore everything around me. I wanted to know how the clock on the wall ticked, why the stars twinkled, and where the rain came from. My mother would laugh and say, "Ben, your curiosity will take you far someday." One summer afternoon, I found an old wooden box in my grandfather's attic. It was covered in dust and locked with a rusty keyhole. My curiosity burned like fire. What was inside the box? Why was it locked? I spent hours searching the attic for the key, but I couldn't find it. My curiosity grew stronger. I imagined treasures, letters, or secrets hidden inside. Finally, I asked my grandfather about it. He smiled and said, "That box belonged to your great-grandfather. If you're curious enough, you'll find a way to open it." His words made my curiosity even stronger. I borrowed books from the library to learn about old locks. I tried different tools and techniques, but nothing worked. Still, my curiosity didn't let me give up. One day, I noticed a tiny button on the side of the box. My curiosity made me press it, and the lid popped open. Inside, I found a collection of letters, old photographs, and a watch. The letters told stories about my great-grandfather's adventures around the world. That day, I realized how powerful curiosity can be. Curiosity isn't just about asking questions. It's about seeking answers and discovering new things. It can lead to knowledge, adventure, and even unexpected treasures. Now I let my curiosity guide me every day. Who knows what I'll discover next?
Finding confidence. My name is Sarah, and confidence was something I thought I could never have. When I was younger, I avoided speaking in front of people. Even in class, when the teacher asked me a question, my hands would shake and my voice would disappear. I didn't feel confidence, I only felt fear. One day, my teacher, Mr. Carter, announced a school speech competition. The topic was my dream job. My classmates were excited, but I wanted to hide. I can't do it, I thought. I don't have the confidence to speak in front of everyone. That evening, I told my mom about the competition. She held my hand and said, "Sarah, confidence isn't about being perfect. It's about trying even when you're scared. Start small and your confidence will grow." Her words stayed with me. The next day, I decided to join the competition. My hands still shook, but I started writing my speech. Every time I practiced, I felt a little more confidence building inside me. On the day of the competition, I stood backstage, my heart pounding. What if I forget my words? I whispered. But then I remembered my mom's advice. Confidence is about trying. When it was my turn, I walked to the stage. My voice was shaky at first, but as I spoke, I felt the confidence growing with each word. By the time I finished, the audience was clapping loudly. I didn't win first place, but I felt like a winner. I learned that confidence isn't something you're born with, it's something you build step by step. Now, whenever I feel afraid, I remind myself that confidence grows when you take a chance. Overcoming jealousy. My name is Mia, and I have felt jealousy more times than I can count. It started with my best friend, Emma. She always seemed perfect. She got the highest grades, played the piano beautifully, and had a lot of friends. Every time I saw her succeed, jealousy grew in my heart. One day, Emma won a big art competition. Everyone was congratulating her, but I stood in the corner, feeling jealousy burn inside me. Why is she so talented? Why can't I be like her? I thought. That evening, my mom noticed I was quiet. "Mia, what's wrong?" she asked. I hesitated but finally told her, "I feel so much jealousy toward Emma. She's good at everything and I'm not. My mom smiled gently and said, Mia, jealousy happens when you compare yourself to others. But remember, everyone has their own strengths. Instead of letting jealousy make you sad, use it to inspire yourself. Her words made me think. Instead of feeling jealousy, what if I tried to find my own talents? The next day, I talked to Emma. You're amazing at art, I said, feeling the jealousy slowly fade. Emma smiled and said, Thanks, Mia. But you're great at writing. I wish I could write stories like you. Her words surprised me. I never thought anyone admired my writing. From that moment, I stopped letting jealousy control me. I focused on my writing and even entered a short story contest. I didn't win, but I felt proud of myself. I learned that jealousy doesn't have to hold you back. It's a feeling, but it doesn't define you. Instead of jealousy, choose kindness and self-growth.
The power of determination. My name is Leo, and I've learned that determination is the key to success. Last year, I decided to run a marathon. I had never run more than a few kilometers before, so the idea seemed impossible. My friends laughed and said, "You can't do it, Leo. Running a marathon is too hard." But I knew that with enough determination, I could prove them wrong. At first, I struggled. After running just a few kilometers, I felt tired and wanted to stop. But I remembered my goal. I told myself, if I keep going, I can finish. I just need determination. Every day, I ran a little farther. The first week was tough. My legs hurt, and I felt like giving up many times. But I didn't stop. With every step, my determination grew stronger. I reminded myself that determination isn't about being perfect. It's about not giving up. 2 months later, the marathon day arrived. I was nervous, but my determination pushed me forward. As I ran, I thought about all the times I wanted to quit but didn't. I kept saying to myself, I can do this. When I crossed the finish line, I felt an overwhelming sense of pride. I had done it. It wasn't easy, but my determination had carried me to the end. Now, I know that determination is what helps you achieve your goals, no matter how hard they seem. It's about never giving up, even when the road is tough.